Morning everyone. Kind of a late start today. Had some late nights getting stuff done. I worked overtime the other day and night, and well, it was a long night to say the least. But yesterday when I got home from work was a disaster of a morning, and then a high-speed wobble for the afternoon while I was carting kids around to birthday parties, and then Bridget had a dance competition that we got over to just in time, and then, well, Brooke and I had the evening to ourselves, but it was a whirlwind. So you'll see kind of what went down in the morning. I'll kind of go through what happened there, but now Brooks and I are headed over to the big woods. I just want to check on some stuff over there, pick up some tools, and then we're gonna make syrup tonight. So we'll get to that. But you want to say hi, Brooks? He says hi too. So I just got here to Skip Road, and my plan was, well, it still is, to take a walk up in the woods and see if I had anything for damage. But then on my way here, I'm like, oh, I forgot my tubing tool. So I went back and got that. Well, yeah, I took my tapping belt, or my tool belt, out of my truck too, so I don't have that. So I'm not even gonna bring my tubing tool, but I'm gonna go up in and get that checked. But first, I'm just gonna see how much sap we got. There should be a bunch. I hauled a load out of here yesterday because it was almost full. And then I knew I wasn't gonna have to boil, so we're just gonna boil everything tonight. We're supposed to get one more freeze tonight, and then it doesn't look great for freezes for the extended. So we'll at least get everything cleaned up, probably boil at least once or twice next week. There's probably 3/4 of a tank there. So I did bring the truck and trailer, so I'll take a load home with me. I know I can't get it all, but I'll be able to get the rest of it on the last load, and then wash the tank at the same time. So the RPMs are up just a little bit, which tells me there is something going on up there. So I do need to get up there and get that checked. One nice thing about later in the season is I don't need snowshoes because, well, most of the snow's gone. There's a bunch deeper in the woods, so it'll be interesting when I get up in the middle. There should be a lot, but up top I bet there's no snow up there. All right, so you heard me say that yesterday was kind of a debacle in the morning. So I'm sitting at work, getting ready to get out, and I get an alert on my phone from Sap Spy saying that the hub had lost power. So I'm like, oh, power must have flickered and tripped the pump's off. Then I'm like, wait, nope, that one doesn't work off that. So I'm like, huh. So I get out of work, shoot over here, check this, and I get down and the breaker's tripped. So I'm like, huh. Flip the breaker back on, it stays. Walk down here to the releaser building and I hear a humming sound, and I'm like, well, that's not good. Get in here, and the pump had seized up inside the releaser. So in here, there's a 1/2 horse well pump in this tube that goes in and it pumps the sap out. And if you remember right, I'll show the clip right now. A couple weeks ago, it just didn't sound right, and well, I didn't worry about it, but. Like that thing doesn't sound awesome. Maybe it'll sound better after it's clean. So here's the old pump here. Just a deep well pump, 1/2 horse, and this thing was seized up. So I pulled it out. It wouldn't run. I called my buddy who's got a well business. I'm like, hey, you got a pump? He's like, well, I guarantee I'd have one if it was 220, but that's a 110 pump. Luckily, he did. One of his guys pulled through, came in, left it out for me so that I could go get it and get it changed. Well, it's easy then, right? Then I've got the pump. I just need to change it. Just some plumbing and a little bit of wiring. Well, not completely. So this pump the new pump actually ended up being longer by about, well, a thumb, about that much. When I measured it, because I didn't have a tape measure, so there was a mess with that. So I'm gonna pull this thing out and I'll show you, just because I want to check it too. I'll show you what was going wrong with it. The pump just kicked on, and it's weird. This thing sounds great. Like it doesn't sound like it's grinding. It doesn't sound like it's dying. Perfect. So what's going on with this pump is it's actually got the foot valve built into it, not on the outside like the old one did. So this pipe in here, that one right there, was actually about 1.25 inches longer. So I had to take it down to the fab shop. Darren, who built my evaporator arch at Maine Fabs, he was able to come in luckily, and we had to chuck this up in the lathe, cut that off, cut the threads off, then weld them back on so that we could get the distance we needed, and it just barely fits, which, I mean, luckily Bennett Well Done Water Systems, he pulled through and got me a pump. Darren down to Maine Fabs got this back together. Really, I mean, having good friends, they pay dividends in the long run, and that's why you don't go shopping when you find someone good for the cheapest price. You go where these people that'll take care of you. So I really owe both of them a ton, because I would have been down all day and probably lost 1,000 gallons of sap. Well, that was just until today. It wouldn't have been until Tuesday that I could have got this thing back together if it wasn't for them. So take care of good people, because they take care of you. All right, everything's good here. I just wanted to check that, make sure that everything on that pump looked good, which it does. The old pump, well, I'm going to talk to Ben and see if he can, either if it's the motor, we can just swap the motor out, but I'm going to bring it to him, see what he can do. I'd like to have a spare, but one thing on that pump is that pump was a 4-wire. The new pump was a 3. So once again, having good people, I was able to call my buddy, Rick, who's an electrician, talk to him, and then Darren was actually here with me from Maine Fabs, putting it back together. And he called the weld guy, a different weld guy, and he said just wire it direct. So we basically bypassed this control box on the side that had a capacitor and some other stuff on it. So it's back to how it needs to be. So as far as running this pump, but it threw us for a loop when we went to a 3-wire, because we couldn't get it to work, and well, another disaster that we really didn't need. Go. Huh, he got across there and didn't fall in. Let's see if I can get across and not fall in. Yep. So where I don't have my tool belt and everything, I'm just bringing a roll of electrical tape. I should be able to get small things fixed with that, depending on, well, how small it is. We have had a couple windy days, so not crazy wind, but enough that, well, it could have pulled the tap off or something. So hopefully we can get up here and get in and out quick, get a load of sap hauled, get the RO running, make some syrup tonight. Snow's been spotty on the lower side. It's actually been pretty good going. Up here, there's probably 8 inches in here still, and I'm not even all the way up to the top. So there's still a decent amount of snowpack in the woods here. It is definitely spring. There's a lot of water moving through here right now. That's all snow melting. So it won't be long and there'll be no snow left in here. I haven't found anything major, just a couple branches down, like this one right here, that are on laterals, but nothing on the main so far yet. All right, so we're coming to the end of the season. That means it's almost time for maple equipment manufacturer open houses. I'll be at Leader Evaporator in Swanton, Vermont, doing, well, I'll be there to talk to. I can help people with anything, but please, if I can find this leak here. No, not a leak. Make sure we don't have one. If you see me, make sure you come up, say hi, shake my hand. My wife's gonna be there too, the two-legged boss, so I dragged her along this time. So I'll be there Friday and Saturday. I'll be there probably 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning until, I don't know, 4:30 or something like that. On Saturday, I am gonna cut out a little bit early just because I gotta drive back to Maine. But Friday night, I'm gonna be at the Mill River Smokehouse and Brewery in St. Albans for dinner. If people want to come out, have a few beers, we can talk maple, we can talk about whatever, I don't really care. But I'll be there if people are looking for a place to come get something to eat. I know a lot of people come in from out of town and they're looking for a place to eat, relax for a little while. So Aaron and I will be there. Look forward to seeing everyone. It'll be a good time. All right, here's one that as I was walking up to it, I saw the red tape on the drop line there. What that means is when I drilled this one this year, I hit bad wood, so I didn't tap it. And then it means I need to really look at it for next year. But when I looked up, well, she's really dead now. One of them windstorms blew it over and it landed in that tree. So now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get this thing down, because I don't really need it taking down laterals and stuff, but that's for another time. I'll probably end up with the tractor over here and winching it out. That's one of the reasons why I've gone to that red tape when I'm tapping, is it allows me to, you know, have dead trees or problem trees figured out so that next year I don't drill in them again and waste time, and I can get that lateral off that tree, which in turn means that it can't leak because the squirrel can't chew on it. I'm all the way up at the top. This is the biggest ladder. There's 300 taps coming into this one on A5. But when I look, I see that there's a lot of sap running back down one of the stars. And I've pushed it up before, but what's happening is there's so much coming in that it's coming over. So now I got to find a way to hold this thing up some more so that that doesn't happen, because I want the sap going that way, not this way, that way. It's amazing how just a little bit of adjustment can solve a problem like that. So now, get more sap. It goes up, goes into the wet dry right there at that manifold, right to the releaser, into the tank. Because once it comes out of the tree, it's mine. I want it. I don't want the tree to get it back. There's no snow really to speak of up top here. But it makes for good going because I'm not slipping on ice walking through this low spot where it's normally ice and snow. All right, I'm on my way out. I didn't find any leaks. I did find a ladder that was locked up, so I adjusted the air on that one, even though I'm gonna get yelled at by someone, I'm sure, saying that you're not supposed to have leakers in there. But when I keep getting alerts saying that the vacuum's below 20 on that system, but the other ladder systems are at 24, there's gotta be a problem. And what it was is, there was too much sap coming in, so I opened some air up, the sap goes up. Oh, it's weird. The vacuum's at 24 now. So that's all set. But I did find some goodies when I was in there. I dropped that, must have fallen out of my pocket, and a piece of pipe that I lost at some point. But get out, I'll check the releaser, check the tank, get a load of sap, and then get home and get the RO fired up. So there's definitely over a load here. I'm getting loaded right now. Pump's in good shape until later. Then, but I've got to go home and get the RO going, because that tank, the raw sap tank, is just about full from the load I held yesterday and the what I pumped from down back, because that was almost full. So we're gonna have a lot of sap tonight to boil. I'll probably get started early. You insist on running through the mud just before you get up here, and you've got that nice drool too. That's awesome. You're not getting in the truck with that. We'll leave that here. Look, get there. Look. That's awesome what you do to the seat. You don't care? Okay. You don't care? Running through the mud's fun? I don't think he cares. Bricks and I are out hauling sap now. I just got the load from Blake Road. Now I'm gonna go get Brook Hill, then we'll get the last load out of Skip Road. While I'm there, I'm getting all the tanks clean. These woods are tired. They're about shutting off the, I don't know what's going on with the vacuum pump at Blake Road. That one's not pumping right now. I mean, it's running, but there's sap backing up in the line. I don't know what's up with that. I wonder if it's full of crud. I don't completely know. And then Brook Hill, that one, I don't know. I think the battery's weak on that one, so I'm gonna bring that battery home tonight. But if we get past Tuesday, I'll be surprised. It's supposed to freeze tonight and then be warm all week, so I think we're done, but we'll see. Yeah, that battery there was dead. It was down to like 8 volts, so it wouldn't do nothing, which I'm not sure what's up with that, because it's sunny enough that that thing should have put enough charge on today to get back going. But now I'll go with the last load at Skip Road. So I've got 2 co-pilots now. 2-legged bus, little one, and the 4-legged. Bridget had to go finish up her dance competition. Brooke wants to go to that, but well, it's a long evening there, so she'll hang out with me. We'll make some syrup and, right? Make some syrup? Yeah.
Daddy. everybody, I'm Rook. I'm gonna start heading up to the truck. My dad told me to, so that's what we're gonna be doing. But if I can, I might climb up that one. But I'm not the best at jumping, so I might not make it from every single jump. But if I can, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. It's not the end of the video, but I want you to do that.
Ready? We'll go home and mix the syrup?
Yes.
Right now I'm making about 9.5 coming out of the RO. That's been running for a couple hours. We'll see what we got over here. Raw sap's been pretty low though. Right at like 1%. It's not the worst stuff ever, but it's by far from the best. Alright, we're almost ready to start. Get the doors opened up on the cupola. Make sure the drain's going the right way coming out of the tank, and it is. It's going in the sugar house. Open that door and then the back. I don't think I have enough room in the tank to go down and pump the tank down back because it's almost on the overflow. So rather than chancing it, I'll start putting some up in the head tank, and then once someone gets here, then I'll run down and I'll get the last of the sap. Might as well get this thing cranked up. It's been a long day. So the wood pile took a real beating. We used up all the wood in here that's technically, the way I look at it, is it's for the sugar house. The rest of the wood there is house wood, so it's all, it's actually all oak, and it's split bigger. So I try not to use that for the sugar house. I used all this, but what I've got is the cage tank now. I get the tractor, I bring the cage tank down, and in the barn, I've got the spare wood pile, which is basically a sugar house, but it used to sit out back over there, but it wasn't undercover. So now I've got 2 bays here full of wood, so we're already almost partway through one, and that one we'll probably get through a lot of that too, because that one's all pine and it's old. This was some popple from last year, but this is where the spare wood is that we're getting out. So another handy reason for having a tractor is you get to lug your firewood with it rather than carry it by hand. Oh, what's in here? Oh, it's not my flavor, but it'll do. I got all the sap up here now. We got 2,300 gallons of sap today, so that's a few days worth of sap. But that's what we're boiling today. So the RO is still plowing through it. We're making like 9%. We've been on the overflow on the permeate tank for a while now, so it's just kind of a grind now. But things are going. We're making syrup. It's dark, but it still tastes good. Now we're coming out to get firewood, and the cage tank's sitting on the ground, and I'm like, well, why are we bending over to pick this up when we can pick it up with a tractor, and then we don't barely have to bend over? So now we don't bend over to pick up firewood. I just had to back down the air on the arch because the wood we're burning, it's spare wood, and well, I think it's like 6 years old now, so there's nothing to it. And the sparks coming out of this, they were more impressive than the Aurora Borealis. So I cut the air back, so now it's not as bad, but it was pretty bad. I think we were headed for a woods fire, but not quite. This first bay of wood, we just finished up this, so now it's this stuff, which there's a little bit of hardwood on top, but then the rest of it is pine in the middle that's old, and some old hardwood on the bottom, but not a lot. I kind of really want to get through all of it. That way I can start over and not have all this old wood in there, but we'll see. There'd be 2 nights of boil in there to get rid of that probably, and I think we might only have 1. I'm shutting down. Of course, we tried getting the last fire line right about right. We had a lot of wood still in the arch, and well, we missed it. So I've added wood twice now, plus some other stuff we were trying to get rid of in here, some cardboard and stuff, you know, tasty beverage boxes. So we're getting rid of those, but it's just taking a little while, but we'll get through that. There's just a little bit, then I got to clean the head tank. The RO, that just finished the wash cycle, so that's rinsing, the last rinse. Tank's clean for the raw sap. We just about topped off that 30-gallon barrel, and this is full. Which that had some in it before, so it wasn't all tonight's sort. But we probably, I haven't totaled it up yet, but we made 28 gallons of syrup tonight, 25, 28 gallons. So a good night, but we're getting near the end of the season. Flavor's still good. It's definitely in a very dark, strong. It's freezing tonight. It's down to 30 already, so. They're talking low 20s, so that'll be good. But there's not a lot of life left in this season at all. So we're burning firewood and we're making syrup. Well, we do that all the time. So see you in the next one.